Good morning. You've reached us at the end of our first teaching week at Bristol University studying veterinary science. Now yesterday I couldn't get an update because the camera was not on charge. It was left on all night and didn't have any charge, therefore we couldn't do anything with that. So I'll give you an update on yesterday. So yesterday was a course-based learning day, which I thought was actually quite good in fairness. I thought it was either going to go really well, or like it was going to go well, or it was going to be that little bit, don't know, really not that great, but it turned out to be good. So course-based, but case-based learning involves us essentially taking some learning objectives or a case or a scenario and having to compile, as a group, compile a bunch of information, work on it together, and not essentially solve the case, but just like come up with solutions and essentially meet the criteria that they want us to find out. But yeah, there's 12 of us in our group. Good bunch of people, I think we'll get along because it's the same group throughout the entire year, so we should be able to build up on our skills, which I think is good, because if it was different all the time, then I feel like you wouldn't get anything out of it. So I feel like the fact that it is actually a fixed group throughout the entire year, and since it's something you'll be doing every week, this course-based learning, you'll move from case to case each week. I think that will be that should be actually more effective as a learning tool and as a group building task and as a means by getting to know these people and so forth. So I think that will be good. And yeah, we collected our uniforms. We get a waterproof top, waterproof trousers, steel cap wellies, and overalls. So that's okay. I bought some steel cap wellies a few months back what was that for? Yeah, it was for an open day sort of event, I think, out at Langford, with their sheep, I believe, but because they basically the sheep were essentially quarantined, we couldn't do anything with them. So I didn't actually need them in the end, and we ended up just doing a tour thing with the cows at Langford. And now I've got another free pair essentially, so whatever, I'll take them anyway. But yeah, that was yesterday. Yeah, good day yesterday. Today, back to more teaching, a full day of teaching, 9 till 5. We got cell biology first thing this morning. I believe we're delving into lipids or maybe carbohydrates, I think. Can't remember. Yeah, I don't know what we were doing. We were doing proteins last time, proteins and lipid membranes, like protein synthesis, essentially. But I think we're basically working through all the foundation block stuff, and then we'll build up on top of that, like everything else at this point. We're going to get all the basics nailed, and then it will build up from there. Because we have more anatomy to do. Not too sure what we're delving into with that. Yeah, I'm not too sure what the next lesson for that is, but I know we've got some anatomy classes. I believe we have I think it's professionalism. I think another professionalism session. So I don't know if that's gonna correspond to the workplace and stuff, or if it's referring to something else. But we have a full day of lectures today, so that should be fun. See how that goes. The U card that essentially gets us into buildings and stuff, mine isn't working. So I'm going to try again one last time today, see if it works. and if not, then I'll have to take it to card services at the Royal Fort at top of St Michael's Hill, see if we can get it sorted, because it's a bit annoying, because until you get the U-card properly working, that basically confirms that you have registered, and then that can tell the financing bodies who are paying for my tuition, well, you essentially, give me the tuition fee loan, they can't send that money through until I've essentially registered, and I can't do that until I've sorted the U-card. I do have a bit of time. It's not until the beginning of October. It's, I've got just a bit over a week to get it sorted, so I'll try and get it sorted today. Yeah, I don't know why it's not worked. Either it's a faulty card or I'm just an idiot, but we'll see on that front. So we'll get in nice and early this morning, see what the day brings, update all that later. Wednesday was actually, a point I wanted to actually make was Wednesday. So a couple of days ago, not yesterday at Langford, but the day before that. I thought that was actually a very good day. I don't think I delved too much into that on the day, but that was actually quite some in-depth, interesting stuff, because we were looking at body cavities, serous membranes, looking into the bones. So what we've done is we took all the notes for that, and then what we've done is basically we've simplified and took out the key points that we can easily remember. So all the sections of the forearm and the hind limb, all the sections of the top. We've taken, we did this already a while back, but we have just basic definitions of the anatomical positions on a dog. So your median plane, your lateral planes, transverse planes, sagittal plane, dorsal, caudal, cranial, palmar, plantar, proximal, distal, all these things. So what I think would be a good idea, because what I was thinking, because we did this yesterday, what we did was we essentially went back through the notes we have taken, and then we've basically picked out the key bits that I think we're going to be needing to remember, and the vital bits of information, the key sort of like a simple essentially point, so like the structure of a forelimb, or a piece of terminology, or like a structure of a sorts, definitions, things like that. So picking them out of all the chaff, and then in my notebook, and then basically compiling it in a smaller notebook that we can easily refer to for just like the quick, simple facts. Basically using the notebook as just a means to compile simple information, because I think that's what I need to do, because obviously, because I've got to essentially use it as a revision tool, just something to look over. So okay, this is cranial, this is the Latin term for this is what that means. Instead of like obviously looking through a massive book and trying to find it, obviously I'll have it in a smaller book where it's a bit more condensed and simplified, so I can just quickly flick through the pages and like, oh, where was that bit to? Ah, yes, here it is. Diddle diddle diddle. There we go. That's what that was. But obviously, as we start getting into the more complex stuff, I'll probably need to come up with a different strategy. But I think essentially like revision cards of a sort. But I'm essentially going to be trying to use that in conjunction, just with some general basic stuff to start off with. We'll see how that goes. But I thought that was quite good, in fairness. Because what I could essentially do was, obviously out of my notebook I have, these big A4 pages of notes, going page after page after page. What I could do is I could basically like tick off each page as I go, and then I can like sort of keep up. So if I'm, basically, what would you call it? Assimilate the two notebooks so that they're constantly like backing off each other. So take my notes in the big thing in class, take everything in I think what might be important, then take everything that like is likely and perhaps is important, and go with that. And then obviously we still have the notes there, so if we did miss anything, then it would technically be in there, and that's my bad. And of course we can still look back on that. So obviously, like prior to say an anatomy class, I can actually have a little look, a little flip through my notes. Oh, back to cell biology first session, or we did this. Anatomy third session, or we did this. So yeah, I think that should be a good system. But again, obviously, it's a case of seeing how we go. We're still very much playing with it at the moment. You know, we've still not really hit the grit and the gravy of the work yet. You know, we haven't got okay, right, we got exams here, we got, you know, these 10 pieces of coursework to do. We haven't got you know, all these tasks we do. I haven't got like lots of asynchronous stuff to be catching up on. I haven't got like to think about EMS just yet. You know, so it's still a case of like, you know, there's still stuff to be taught to us, and like key dates and tasks for us to do haven't been assigned yet. So it's a case of like, well, we've just been given information. That's basically all that's happened so far. We've been given several lectures on some basic things, but that's basically it. Nothing else has really transpired. So again, we'll just see how it goes over the next few weeks. It's going to take some time, I think, before we truly hit the gravy. I feel like it's going to be probably like, yeah, I think like obviously probably like the next 2 or 3 weeks maybe is going to be relatively easy. But I think as we get more into late October, I think, and start heading towards the likes of November and the Christmas break, that we'll start seeing, because I know there's exams prior to Christmas, I believe. There's exams prior to Christmas. So I think there's going to still be a little bit of time before that's essentially put on our minds. I think there is a date for when exams are. There's a rough, we haven't had the exact say, okay, your exams will be on such and such in this room or whatever. So again, just see it, take it as it goes, day by day, compile a list of what needs to be done, prioritise what's important, because of course we still have to make sure that, because I want to still make sure I'm trying to do some exercise where I can, because we're doing a lot of walking at the moment, because we have in Bristol, for instance, so we park outside the Clifton Suspension Bridge, and then we walk into Bristol from there, and that's about, you know, that's a 30-minute walk at least, depending on where you go. And obviously, anyone in Bristol knows there are quite a few hills. There's not much flatness, but yeah, you know, it's getting my steps in, certainly, I think, which is good. But I would still like to do some on top of that. But again, like today, for instance, we've had to get up at 6 o'clock. Everyone is still asleep in my house, so I can't do anything there. So I basically, I get up at 6, I leave like 7:15. I get in for 9 o'clock sessions. I'm having to spend my day there up until 5 o'clock, and then I have to come home. And so I'm probably not going to be home tonight until 7 o'clock. And by that point, I need to, you know, obviously get something to eat, sort myself out, maybe have a shower, things like that. So it's just, whereas the day, you know, the day's gone. The day's pretty much gone. I don't really have time to do anything else. Because obviously I don't want to just be working solidly into the evening. I mean, it is the weekend, so it doesn't really matter what happens like tonight, for instance, because we have plenty of time on the weekend, because there's not much in terms of work to be done. There is an hour video I need to watch on like the library systems, but besides that, there's nothing else really on the plate. But we'll see. There might be some more tasks set for us today. I know we have more asynchronous stuff going on next week as opposed to this week, so that'll be some stuff we need to keep up on outside of hours. But Wednesdays are currently, because this week's been 5 days, going forward it's 4 days, and Wednesdays are off. So that'll probably be a day for asynchronous tasks, because that'll be a big good opportunity to, it'll break the week up. I think that'll be good. It'll be good to like break the week up, and we can actually, we can stay at home, and we can just crack on with tasks really. Because the thing is, while I'm out there, if I'm at lectures all day on Monday and Friday, and we're out at Langford on Thursday doing practicals and stuff, and then Tuesday sort of a half day, there's not a great deal of opportunity. There is, we will find the time to do the stuff where necessary, but it's limited. It's limited essentially. Weekends, obviously, they're completely open book, but I think it's good that we haven't done any societies or clubs or overcommitted to any roles that we're not sure that we can do ourselves yet, because it's a case of like, I don't know when what time I'm going to have still. I still don't know what time I'm going to have. I don't think it's going to be much, but I know I still don't know what that time is going to be. I don't know if I'm going to be actually doing lots of work on the weekends. How much time I'll get to myself during the winter break, in the winter and summer breaks and stuff. We'll see. And maybe we'll get a bit more efficient, and maybe we can make time work a bit better. But again, we're still figuring out our timetable. But obviously, if we had the addition of we got these societies, and we got this meeting to do, and we got this and that and the other, then it's just, I'm not in Bristol. I can't be here, there and everywhere every evening. So yeah, we will see how that goes. So we'll get on with today. We've got anatomy, cell biology, I believe some other sort of general study skills, professional skills sessions. I will update that momentarily. Fridays, traffic jams. Just joined up on the M5, and now I'm in the traffic jam. To be expected. Lots of information thrown out today. Wasn't too bad. Yeah, just lots and lots of information. We had stuff on assessments and how that goes, but the overview and the take I took from that was 50%. Do all the tasks, and you're through to the next year. And then if you're unsure about anything, it's all online. That's basically the main take, but that apparently took us an hour, so. But, here's what it is. But, yeah, so you need to achieve 50% in any of the pieces of work, more or less, in order to beat the year, basically. 0% to fail. You only get a limited amount of retries, but I think it's like if it's 50% completion, or if that's the pass mark, then that is pretty damn low. You have to be pretty stupid not to get that. I think that's so easy. It's like if you attend every lecture and you actually listen throughout them, surely you should retain enough information on that alone to do all the work. I feel like, if you actually assess this, if you actually look at all the asynchronous tasks, you look at all the material on the lectures, all the reading material, that should be more than enough to get you the 50% that you need. So, I mean, obviously, I would like to try and get as best a mark as I can. I want to try and get 100% if possible, as best I can. But it's like, well, all these bozos who are getting away with 50. So I just think that it's just sort of a bit demeaning, really. I mean, they said that we're testing you on. The point of the course, right, is to test you and teach you how to become a vet. We're not teaching you how to do exams. That's what they said. You're not learning to become a vet so you can know how to do exams. So that's why the pass mark is apparently 50%. And of course, we're all going to hopefully come out of this with as general practitioners, as vet general practitioners. So obviously we know a little bit about everything. We don't know anything specifically. Well, not necessarily unless you want to specialise. So yeah, it is what it is. I'm fine with it, in fairness, because it means that I feel like I have a pretty good chance of passing. Because I think 50%, that is so damn low. That is easy. Come on. I mean, seriously. That is so easy. So I'm not panicking about that, in fairness. I'm just gonna do the lectures, look at the material, read, take notes, and I just follow that. And it's just like if it ends up at exams or at assessments where I'm just scratching my head and I'm super confused, then well, I guess I've been slacking. But I think it's like, well, you know, I don't know. We'll see how we go. We'll see how we go. I feel like 50% is way too easy, but who knows? We'll see when we get to the exams, I guess. See what ends up being the results. See if it ends up being, oh, well, you know, we actually did quite well there. We barely scraped the mark. We've got a lot of sort of negative feedback and things to improve upon. So we'll see on that front. Had some more mostly biology stuff today. We had 2 physiology and a biology session. So that was going into proteins and the transports across a cell membrane, transport methods, and those we do in A-levels. So they talked about active transport and facilitated diffusion and the protein the sodium channels and things. So that was all quite basic, so that was all pretty damn easy. One of the sessions was like very, very, very simple, and it was only 30 minutes long. So yeah, not the most interesting of days. Quite a lot of information for us, for sure. But a lot of it was quite basic, at least for the biology portion of it. So I spent my breaks today. We had 2 like 1-hour intervals between some sessions. So we wrote up. We did what we were saying we were going to do a bit earlier. We were going to take notes, take like a rough note of the lectures in class. We were going to take, I was going to take a note of, I was going to take notes on the lectures in class, and then I would write up a smaller note to summarise. Yeah, so that's what we did in our break. We took up some of the anatomical stuff, so the structures of the pelvic bone, the ribs, some terminology, some biology stuff, just writing up some simplified notes just to round it up, and then it's easy. I can just have a quick skim through and check them when needs be, and when it comes to doing revision for exams, you know, we can have a look at that. But apparently I need to only know 50% of it, so yeah. So yeah, it just 50% is so low. It's so low. I think it's the undermining part, really. It's like, if, you know, some people are going to slack it, do a lot of last minute stuff. Yeah, a lot of people are going to slack it, leave a lot till the last minute, and like they'll scrape by on the 50%. And then there's some of us who are actually pushing ourselves really hard and like attending every single lecture and doing all the asynchronous tasks and doing lots of revision, reading lots of material and stuff, and then yet we basically get the same result, a pass more or less, because they just want you to get that pass mark. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if it I don't actually know if it changes in the following years. I don't think it would. See, I don't think it would change. Like, oh, you got to get at least 80% for this particular exam, or this piece of coursework. So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. So it's, yeah, next week, Mondays and Fridays are going to be full days, because we now got like a repeating timetable now. So we've got Mondays are full days, Fridays are full days, those are at the university, and then Tuesdays are sort of somewhat of a half day. It's only about 5 hours I have to be there for, I think. Wednesday's a day off, so we can use that to get on with some stuff at home. And then on, yeah, Thursdays we're out at Langford. I think doing a fair share of practicals, which I think is quite interesting. Because yeah, I'm curious to see how these practical sessions would go with anatomy, because I'm very curious to see. Because what I'm curious to know, actually, because I don't know this, with essentially, say, the dog cadavers. So if we get like a whole dog on the block, and it's been like surgically opened, you can see all the organs or something. Who does that? You know, who's done that? Has the lecturers done that just prior, or is there like an actual place that deceased dogs go to, and you basically have like dog butchers? I don't know. I'm unsure. So yeah, I'm curious to see about like the logistics of like getting these specimens and stuff for us to work on, and see what actually happens. Like, you know, are there like lots of, like, when it comes to actually doing like a lot of anatomical practicals, is there just like one dog which like we all have to apparently use or whatever, or are there like lots of you know, there are lots of like small examples, you know, are there like tons of like dog hearts like or something throughout the entire room? I don't know. So I'm curious to see about like the actual like the dead stock, and see what, like, how that's prepared and what that comes as, and see how we will be working on it. So yeah, but I'll say a quick roundup, close this one out. So for this week, I'd say it's gone about as expected. Again, mostly introductory stuff. We're still in the very basics of it, you know, the very beginning stuff. The basic building blocks of cells, the basic terminology that we'll be building up on, the basics of the course and how it's set up. Lots of emphasis on like your socials and group work and getting settled in. So again, all very interesting stuff. So we'll see how the coming weeks go. We'll see how next week goes, whether it's going to ramp up a bit. They say, oh, it's apparently going to be like this every week in terms of its intensity, and in any case it will ramp up. But we'll see how it all goes, and hopefully some more exciting stuff coming up. Hopefully some more exciting stuff, because it has been very basic. I'd say it has been very basic. Like, I think if you've done A levels, not much will be new to you, I think, in fairness. And if you have, it's all been very comprehensible. Nothing's been hard this week. It's all been pretty easy. It's just a case of the time you have to put into it, because I think that's the thing they mentioned with this course. It's like, it's not, they said it's like, it's hard with the amount of time, it's hard in the sense that you have to put a lot of time into it, but it's not actually hard. I think they said something around those lines, like in terms of like the actual, what you have to know is not the hard thing, it's a case of how much you have to learn. So it's like a quantity thing as opposed to essentially like how challenging it actually is. So it's not like it's not like the super fine tunings and the super like top level intricacies of something. So yeah, we'll see how this course goes, but hopefully next week we get some, because now we're going to be on a regular timetable of the similar sessions each week, similar days each week, so we can start developing our timetable better, and we will go from there, see how we go. So I will tune in next week.